Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we are going to be talking about the question, will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-sign cornerback Carlton Davis? So, if you guys are new here, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button if you do enjoy these types of videos, and leave your thoughts and opinions as to whether or not you feel the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will or will not re-sign Carlton Davis down in the comment section below. As always, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. And much like what we had been doing with the Leonard Fournette video, with the Chris Godwin video, I have a series of questions that I'm going to be asking and answering in this video today. And at the end of it, we are going to come to a conclusion as to whether or not I feel the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will or will not re-sign Carlton Davis. So let's go ahead and start off with the first question, which is this. Is Carlton Davis good? Is he even worth re-signing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And in my opinion, the answer is a resounding yes. I don't think it is a stretch or a crazy thing to say that Carlton Davis is a top 15 cornerback in this league. And I know some people may say, James, at this point you're being biased because you said Leonard Fournette was one of the top half running backs in the league. You said that Chris Godwin is a top wide receiver in the league. Now you're saying Carlton Davis is a top cornerback in the league. You're being extremely optimistic. You're being extremely biased. But I would argue that recent history, recent tape has my benefit in this scenario, because you look at some of the wide receivers that Carlton Davis has gone up in recent memory. Guys like Davante Adams, guys like Michael Thomas on multiple occasions, among many other wide receivers that are top tier in the league, and Carlton Davis has held his own time and time and time again. So I think, again, it's not a crazy thing to say that Carlton Davis is a top half cornerback in this league, a top 15 cornerback. I really do believe that in my heart of hearts. If you guys do disagree, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But is he good? In my opinion, yes. Carlton Davis is good. He is deserving of an extension from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The next thing you got to talk about, though, which this is where things definitely get a little bit murkier, a little bit more interesting, is injuries. Carlton Davis missed 7 games last year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he has not played a full season, a full slate of games in a year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yet. In his entire career with Tampa Bay, the past 4 years, Carlton Davis has never played a full season for the Bucs. That's not great. Obviously, injuries are not in Carlton Davis's control. Of course, he would want to play a full season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but at the end of the day, injuries may be a legitimate concern for Carlton Davis throughout his career. It's already been a concern through 4 years, and yes, he is still young. He could play many full seasons for the Bucs, but it is a legitimate question that does need to be asked. However, despite the fact that Carlton Davis has not played an entire season for the Bucs yet, I don't think that that is going to be a huge deciding factor for the team. I think that they're just going to go ahead and say, look, we're just going to try and keep this guy as healthy as we humanly can, because when he is on the football field, he is fantastic. So while injuries do need to be a question for the Bucs when deciding on whether or not to bring Carlton Davis back, I don't think it is going to be a deal breaker in any type of contract extension. Speaking of contract extensions, those things come with price tags, right? What would a potential cost be for a per year deal for Carlton Davis? Well, I want to say this. The franchise tag right now is $17 million, a little over $17 million for cornerbacks. And on SpotTrack.com, they have Carlton Davis's per year average in a contract extension to be $19 million, which that's what you pay for top tier cornerbacks at the end of the day. So I do think that that does make sense. But when I saw that number, I just went, whoa, $19 million. That is a lot. But that is what you pay top tier starting cornerbacks. I think that if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do re-sign Carlton Davis, the most likely route would be potentially a franchise tag. It's a little over $17 million. You're technically saving a couple of $1 million here or there, which is a significant amount of money. You could bring an entirely new player on money like that. So we'll see. They may do the franchise tag. I do believe the Buccaneers do want to secure Carlton Davis on a long-term deal. However, we'll talk about that in a little bit. but those are your two options. You have either the franchise tag at $17 million, or you could potentially go the route of just paying him the $19-20 million that he is maybe expected to get, at least according to SpotTrack.com, and get him on a long-term deal with that type of money. But the next thing you need to think about is options that are currently on the team and also other options that may be available in free agency. Currently, the top two corners besides Carlton Davis are Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting. Jamel Dean, I think he actually played a pretty decent year last year. Both these guys struggled with injuries along with Carlton Davis, right? Jamel Dean, SMB, they were out for good chunks of the season as well. I think Jamel Dean is a solid cornerback. He is a starting caliber cornerback, but I think there is a gap in the abilities of Dean and Davis respectfully. I think that Davis is a better cornerback than Jamel Dean. I think that, again, Jamel Dean's a solid starter, but he is not up there at the level of what Carlton Davis has shown the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that he can do. In the case of Sean Murphy-Bunting, I think that he is a solid corner. He can do some good things both as a nickel corner and an outside corner, but again, much like in the case of Jamel Dean, I think that it would be a sizable gap between what Carlton Davis gives you at the cornerback position and what Sean Murphy-Bunting gives you at the cornerback position as well. So I think the Buccaneers would want to continue to have all three guys there as their trio of starting cornerbacks and continue to make that trio work for their defense in Todd Bowles' system. But also in free agency, I'm going to be honest, there's not a ton of great outside starting cornerbacks specifically. One name that a lot of people are going to think of is Stephon Gilmore. The Buccaneers almost signed him almost traded for him, I guess I should say, after there was some talk and rumors with the Carolina Panthers. I believe, obviously he did end up on the Carolina Panthers, but the New England Patriots, they were going to release him, and the Buccaneers were certainly interested, but it then ended up that they traded him to the Carolina Panthers. The Buccaneers were reported to have some some level of interest in Stephon Gilmore if he were to have been released by the New England Patriots. Unfortunately, that did not happen. They went ahead and traded him to the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs then went ahead and brought in a guy like Richard Sherman. So Stephon Gilmore may be a name. We'll see. They could also bring back Richard Sherman, although at this point he may retire. He's been doing things with a podcast and all these other different types of things. Richard Sherman may retire, but that is potentially an option there. But then after that, folks, there aren't a ton of great names. Patrick Peterson, if I'm going to be honest, he is probably past his prime at this point in his career. Kyle Fuller is a good cornerback, but I don't think he can give you what Carlton Davis can give you. He's more of a nickel corner. J.C. Jackson, similar situation. The guy's more of a nickel corner, not necessarily an outside corner. He's a fantastic cornerback. He is going to be getting a lot of money, but he's not necessarily what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are looking for in terms of a big, physical outside number one cornerback. And then also Chris Harris is another guy I have on this list as well, but again, he's another guy who plays mainly nickel cornerback, kind of in a similar vein to what Sean Murphy-Bunting does for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So in terms of options already on the team, in terms of free agent options, there isn't a ton of guys, besides maybe Stephon Gilmore if he can return to form back whenever he was playing as the Defensive Player of the Year. Besides that, there aren't a ton of guys who give you exactly what Carlton Davis gives you as a perfect replacement for Davis if they were to not re-sign him. Age, he's 26 years old. He's certainly got a good amount of years left ahead of him, especially considering guys like Richard Sherman are playing to 32, 33 years old. If you expect Carlton Davis to do similar things, then that's great news. You're going to have 6 years left of Carlton Davis, 7 years possibly. That is very, very good news. You could have Carlton Davis for a long time, and I think he would still give you, I would say, at least 4 years of top-tier cornerback play. So I don't think that is necessarily an issue as well. Again, much like in the case of Fournette, maybe you take injuries into account for that. Maybe you don't. I'll leave that up to you guys. But for me, I don't think it would be much of a concern. And then finally, the last two things I want to talk about is, do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers want him back on the team? I think the answer to that is a resounding yes. They love Carlton Davis. They love what he does as the leader of this Buccaneers secondary, and he's just a really good cornerback. And does Carlton Davis want to be back on the team? I think the answer to that is also a yes. I might say a probably here, because Carlton Davis, he is going to have options in free agency. If he does hit the open market, the man is going to have so many offers. I think that there are going to be a very healthy amount of teams who would be interested in Carlton Davis's services should he hit the open market. So, yeah, I think he does want to be back in Tampa Bay, but I also would 100% believe the fact that he probably would be excited to test out the free agent market, see what is available for him there, and get the bag that he feels he deserves. That would make perfect sense to me. But after all these questions, after all this speculation, what do I think? Do I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will or will not re-sign Carlton Davis? I think they will re-sign Carlton Davis. I think he is probably going to be either number 1 on their priority list or number 2 right below Chris Godwin. I think if they can't get a long-term deal done, I definitely think they will apply the franchise tag to Carlton Davis and go from there and try and iron out a long-term deal next season. I think that they love what Carlton Davis does at the cornerback position. I think he has earned a long, healthy, high dollar amount contract extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I would say he is either, again, the most important guy you need to bring back here out of all of your own free agency, or own free agents, I guess I should say, or your second most important guy if you want to have Chris Godwin be number 1. But I think there's a legitimate argument to say here that Carlton Davis may be a more important free agent to bring back than Chris Godwin. What do you guys think about that? Let me know down in the comments section below. But you guys have heard my thoughts and opinions on all of this, also as to whether or not you feel, or I guess I feel, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will or will not bring back Carlton Davis. So I want your guys' thoughts. Do you think the Buccaneers will or will not re-sign Carlton Davis? Do you think they should or should not re-sign Carlton Davis? Give me all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.